Wow, this is unusual. You know, I speak to 15 to 18 lakh Bangaloreans every single day with not a single pair of eyes looking at me. Here, there is a room full of people just penetrating through me. Try not to stare too hard. My nose starts sweating, so if you can just maybe not stare too hard. I'm going to be speaking to you about a dying art form. Now, whatever little I do, my closest association is with sound. And I'm going to be speaking to you about the dying art form of listening. In fact, I was joking around with the TEDx team and the volunteers. I was telling them I'm pretty sure it was much easier for you to put together a panel of 10 speakers as opposed to fill a room with people who actually want to listen. And don't get me wrong, listening and hearing are two very different concepts. I've been with radio for a few years, and I have to admit, I have this romantic, intense, steamy affair with sound, you know. I love sound, it fascinates me. You know, the fact that an opera singer can crack a glass of wine with her voice, that's sound energy. The fact that they believed back in the days when people would sing, the skies would pour and the lamps would be lit, that's sound energy. I find it fascinating. Let me tell you something about sound, very basic. When sound hits our ears, it comes in the form of vibrations. It makes a certain fluid in your ears move. The message is taken to your brain, and that is where the tricky decision is made of whether you want to hear or whether you want to listen. Now, hearing is involuntary. Somebody pinches you, you jump. That's a reaction you haven't planned. Listening, on the other hand, is voluntary. I think it's ironic. It's also convenient that I stand here and I go jibber jabber about, you know, the art of listening while you have to sit there and listen, or at least pretend to listen. Now, I'm going to show you how this works. For me, it's the theater of the mind. It's where art is created. You listen, you imagine, you create. It's unique. And no two performances in the theater of mind are ever the same. Never. And I'm going to prove it to you. I would like two enthusiastic individuals to join me up on stage, if that's okay. While the rest of you can participate with me while you sit. Two people. Yes, please. Wonderful. That was quick. Yes, sir. Please. That would be your board. And young man, that would be your board. All right. So what we're going to do is all of us together are going to be a part of this little experiment. I'm going to imagine this is my sound lab, and I'm going to play you a sound clipping. Whatever comes to your mind, a word, a sentence, a picture, I want you to imagine it, create it in your head, and just put it on the board for me, big so that the people at the back can read. Yes? While all of you have to participate with me. Can we nod a little bit? Yes? Okay. Could you all close your eyes for me, please? Just close your eyes, all of you. Breathe in, chest rise, exhale. Clear your mind and just follow my voice. I'm going to play you a sound clip. I want you to tell me what comes to your mind. Cue music. One more time, please. Okay, I'm going to do this one last time. Let the creative juices flow. Tell me what you see in your mind, in the theater of your mind. One last time. Open your eyes. Do we have something? Can you all put whatever came to your mind? And don't look at each other, no cheating. All right? The gentleman here says, a snoring elephant. It's a very clean thought process. I was assuming there'd be a lot more coming out of that. Here we have a faulty grinder. Yeah? Now, I'm guessing a few of you thought it was that, a few of you thought it was this, the others had their own unique ideas. I'll tell you what it is. We'll play that out again and tell me if it makes sense. You know what you thought in your minds, right? Yes? Can we have that one last time? It's a squeezy ketchup bottle. Yeah? No? Yes? Maybe? Yes? Yes? Do I see nods? One last time again, please. A squeezy ketchup bottle at home. Yes? Yes, it is. We have a squeezy ketchup bottle at home. You've seen a squeezy ketchup bottle at home. Would you guys step in a little, please? You know, we often find ourselves cheering speakers on. I want you all to put your hands together for yourselves, for them. We're all listeners. We're artists. And they've kept the art of listening alive. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, it's interesting. You may have thought of a snoring elephant, but the way he imagined it to be would not be the same as you imagined it to be. And that is why I said no two performances in the theater of mind are ever the same. And that's the art of listening. In fact, I think having something to say all the time is overrated. And I'm saying this at the cost of jeopardizing my job. I talk for a living. But having something to say for everything is absolutely overrated. In fact, they say you must listen to a good listener. It's gold. Pure gold. There's a very interesting little story I'd like to share with you. There was a gentleman. He had come by over to our studios. I was actually very fortunate to have him at our studios. Perks of the job, you get to meet people, speak with them. He told me that the amount he's learned from listening is unparalleled. He is the captain of the Indian blind cricket team. I don't know how many of you know this, but in the year 2012, India beat Pakistan in the T20 format to bring back the World Cup. Now, I see a few question marks on the face. Are you trying to imagine how they play cricket? How would an Indian blind team play cricket? That's good. My talk's working. People are imagining. Not bad. We're listening. We're keeping the art of listening alive. They have something that is very unique, a ball actually. I have it with me. It makes a little sound, and they follow the sound, and that's how they play. It's a very interesting, very unique concept. Now, before I get down to this, what I will tell you is that there are two forms of listening, not active and passive. One is listening to sound. The other is the ability to listen to silence. There was this man, he was carrying out an interview, very senior man. He was carrying out an interview, and this man walks in. He sits in front of him. He's an enthusiastic interviewee. He wants to bag the job. He's learned his answers. He's wearing the right clothes. He's prepared. He's pepped himself up. He sits there raring to go. The interviewer asks him just one question. He asks him, what are your hobbies? He says, oh, I love to play cricket, and I'm a painter, and I write, and you know, I'm excellent with this program, and I've, you know, carried out events, and I can handle a whole bunch of things. The interviewer says, looks at him. In 3 seconds, he takes off again. Oh, and I'm also good at this, and I once as a kid did this, and I won the first prize in this, and I've actually backed this. The interviewer again nods his head and says, okay. He again starts talking. He was compelled to say something because he was uncomfortable with the silence. He couldn't deal with the silence. He was forced to put himself out there, vulnerable, say things he didn't plan, say things he didn't want to say things he made up on the spot, only because he was not comfortable with the art of listening to silence. In fact, I coined a term for this syndrome. I think most of us have this syndrome. It's called have you seen the movie Sholay? We have, right? Sholay is cult, Sholay is iconic. There's a dialogue in the movie that says, "Itna sannata kyun hai bhai?" I call it the "Itna sannata kyun hai bhai" syndrome. People are not able to listen, the inability to be able to listen to silence. Now, that was doubly affirmed when, like I said, I met the captain of the Indian cricket team, and I have this little ball with me, and I was thinking, why not play a baby over game? What do you say? Who wants to play a little cricket? 3 balls. Just to see, after the end of this talk, have you been able to channelize all your energies to your ears and just follow the sound and move your entire body, mind, and everything else to channelize it? Is there anybody who wants to come on stage with me? I'm a good cricketer, huh? Oh, there's somebody right here in front. So please, it's going to be a challenge. Let's see how you do this. The art of listening, yes, wonderful. I'm going to have you cover your eyes. Will you cheat or should I check?
Well, I'll try to be honest.
You'll try to be honest? Great. And I'm going to hand you a bat. We're not going to get too adventurous. We don't want to fling the ball in the audience. You just have to connect the bat to the ball and follow the sound. You can step up for me, sir. All right. 3 balls. If he can connect it twice, well done. Less than that, he's... Sir, you want to step up a little for me? And just be careful, yeah? Don't move too much. Let's see this. Can you hear the ball, sir? Have you channelized all your energies to your ears? Aha, that hits your foot. Not bad, that was close, sir. You hold on to that. I'm going to give you 2 more balls here. You see what's happening here? He's following the sound, and that's the only aid he has. No visual, no touch, no smell, no nothing. Ah, that was closer. That was closer. So one last time. You have an audience that's applauding for you. Let's hear this one last time. 1 out of 3 is not too bad. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
You can officially qualify to maybe... Thank you, sir. That's what I'm talking about. Following, we don't pay too much attention to our ears, you know. There was this gentleman who came home a couple of days back. Before I wrap it up, a quick little story. There was a gentleman who came home. He's been listening to the radio for about a year. He's been listening to the show. He found out recently that I stay in the same building. He came up, he rang the bell, and he said, where's Disha? And I said, who are you? He said, no, where's Disha? So before I could answer, he again asked me, where's Disha? I said, I'm Disha. He said, Disha? I said, yeah. No. I'm Disha, I can show you an ID card. No. I have no idea what he was expecting would emerge from the doors. He was clearly disappointed. He was a very disappointed man after figuring that I was Disha. Now, initially I was grumbling a bit, saying, what's that about? But then I realized this man had spent about 8-9 months listening, imagining, creating a picture of me little by little. And the interesting thing is, his imagination surpassed reality. So much so that he was disappointed to meet me. I didn't know how to take that on myself, you know? I was just happy that an artist was born because of me. Listening is an art. We're going to try and keep the art of listening alive. I'm also saying this quite selfishly because I want to make sure we have enough listeners on radio and my job is not jeopardized. That's probably half the reason why I'm doing this talk. But on a final note, there's, I'm guessing, a good enough reason why we have 2 of these and 1 of this. Have a good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.